Hello, welcome again. This is Hybrid Financial Consultants, and we proceed with our standard, which is IAS 16, PPE, Property, Plant, and Equipment. And today, we are just going to take a look at subsequent measurement. How do we account for how do we measure the value of the asset? At what amount do we carry an asset or PPE in the statement of financial position after initially having recognized it? So actually, there are two models. We have cost model, but also we have what we call revaluation model. Now, cost model is just something but just very normal. It's something you've been doing in actually your previous classes. At cost model, you just carry the asset at its cost less depreciation, which is accumulated depreciation, and accumulated impairment losses. So you have depreciation as well as impairment losses. Of course, to learn about impairment losses, go to the channel and check for I-36 impairment of assets. But actually in PPE, we just be given here. So we just less depreciation, but also less impairment loss. Actually, at the start of this standard, I explained the difference between depreciation and impairment. You know, depreciation is simply the systematic allocation of the cost of the depreciable amount of an asset over its useful life. So just when the asset is ready for use, even it doesn't matter whether you are using it or not, you'll have to depreciate it. You could have two cars of actually the same quality, everything the same in all aspects, one in use and one not in use, but they will be charged the same depreciation as long as both of them are ready for use. But actually, impairment loss just requires us to compute it when we believe that when there are indicators that the value recorded carried in the books is actually exceeding what we can actually recoup, what you can actually recover from that value. Let's say through the continuing using it or through selling it. So that's why impairment loss arises. But right now, just understand that we take cost less depreciation and accumulated depreciation and accumulated impairment losses. Here it's accumulated depreciation, not just depreciation, right? And then we'll come to revaluation model. But before coming to revaluation, actually, revaluation model simply requires us to revalue an asset. You could have the PPE in the books, but it will reach a time where you feel that the fair value of it is actually significantly different from what you have carried in the books, so you would have to revalue it. Actually, we'll see the evaluation model, but as for now, let's take a look at the cost model. So, as I said at the cost model, there is nothing new. Let's just presume to have a very simple example here, all right? And then we could proceed with other matters. So let's just presume that you had a PPE costing, let's say we had a PPE costing actually costing $100 million. This was the value of our PPE at the start. This was at the start of the year, let's say 2018, something like this. Now you can see this was the PPE cost $100 million at the start of the year 2018, and that you are told that the useful life of the asset was actually 10 years. Then after this useful life, you are also told that apart from the useful life, then you would have a residual value, usually called residual value, that this is the value that the asset could be recouped from the asset at the end of 10 years. Let's say you had a residual value of, say, $10 million. So you're given something like this and you are told to measure. Let's presume you need to know the value of the asset, the value that should be carried at the end of 2018. So if you need to know at the end of 2018, you would first have to compute depreciation. And if you are not told anything, depreciation is computed using the straight line method. So we would say depreciation equals to, we usually say cost, then we less residual value, you divide by the useful life, just like this. So what would be our amount here? We would say equals to, then open brackets, then we'll say 100 million minus 10 million brackets over 10. think like this, and then you would say equals to 9 million. This would be our depreciation. So accounting for depreciation, that means we would charge depreciation in the statement of profit or loss, charge depreciation in the statement of profit or loss, just like this. Statement of profit or loss, how much? 9 million, and then we usually credit, in normal, we usually credit accumulated depreciation, right? We usually credit accumulated, right here, accumulated depreciation by the amount of 9 million too. But now you have to understand one thing, you know, when you credit accumulated depreciation in the statement of financial position, there is no room to show accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation is usually deducted from the carrying amount of the asset, from the cost of an asset, I mean. So crediting accumulated depreciation simply means crediting your PPE. And so crediting your PPE, what would it remain at? You know, at the start of 2018, the PPE was valued at $100 million, but now it has been reduced by 9 million. So PPE at 31st December 2018 would be equal to 100 million minus 10 million, sorry, minus 9 million, I mean, minus 9 million, which would equal to what? To 91 million. Equal to $91 million, just like this. So this is how we account for the cost model, right? Let's presume that for the next year, unless anything has changed, you know, unless anything has changed, for the next year, we would compute depreciation again, and depreciation will be the same, 100 million minus 10 million over 10 years. But usually in normal cases, and this we will see later, in normal cases, in the case, let's say the useful life has been revised, or the residual value has changed, or the cost, maybe you bought another asset, the cost has changed. Actually, you would have to recompute your depreciation, but don't worry about this. We'll see them in the revision of the depreciation method. Let's say maybe in the revision of useful life, something like this. So we'll see it later. So let's presume that unless depreciation has been a change of depreciation, and they need to compute the value of PPE at 31st December 2020 now, not 2019. 2 years have passed, and so you would charge the same depreciation. And now you would take your cost at the 100 million minus accumulated depreciation, which would be this 9 previously for 2018, and then you would minus 9 million again for 2019, ending up with actually $82 million, something like this. So this is how we account for the cost model. Now, let's just add up a simple thing. We already talked about impairment loss. You know, when speaking of impairment loss, we usually compare the carrying amount. Let's just proceed here. This is about impairment I-36, but let us just do it. We usually compare the carrying amount against the recoverable amount. If carrying amount exceeds recoverable amount, then we say there is an impairment loss. Now let's presume here, you know, we are given the carrying amount. We have the carrying amount actually at the end of 2019 as 82 million. As we see it there, this is $82 million. Now, how do we get the recoverable amount? To obtain the recoverable amount, you look at the options. You have your asset. How do you recover the amount from that asset? It's either you sell it or you continue using it. If you continue using it, you have actually cash flows in the future period. So you will have to discount them to arrive at your value. So you take the higher of, you compare the two things. The higher of fair value less cost to sell, and you compare the value in use, what the present value of the future cash flows that you would obtain. Now let's presume that if you decide to sell it, you could recoup, let's say you could recoup $80 million. And let's presume that if you continue using it, the present value of the future cash flows, let me write here, well, if you continue using it, the present value of the future cash flows actually would only be $75 million. What would you do if you arrive at the situation like this? What would you do? Actually, what you would do is that I would first compute the recoverable amount. recoverable. Now, as I said, what is the higher between fair value less cost to sell and the value in use? The higher value is 80 million. And so you would have to compare this $82 million here against what? The higher value here, which is $80 million. Comparing the two, you would find that in the books, you would have carried the asset at $82 million, but you could only recoup $80 million. So you would have to write off the amount of 2 million so as to reach the recoverable amount. So not here. We do not take the lesser amount. We only reduce the carrying amount if it exceeds the recoverable amount. So you would say impairment loss here, and you would take it as $82 million minus $80 million, arriving at $2 million. So this is the amount by which we would have to reduce the carrying amount of our asset. So double entries, the very obvious issue is to credit, to reduce my PPE, carrying amount of my PPE by $2 million, by $2 million. And then after this, we will have to debit impairment loss, and this would be seen in the statement of profit or loss, just like this, by $2 million again, just like this. So this would mean what? This would mean that my asset, my value of PPE at 31st December 2019 would only be the original amount, that is $82 million minus the 2, which is $2 million, ending up with $80 million. So this is how we account for cost model, nothing new. Don't worry, actually, we'll see when things in the formulas change. Let's say residual value has changed, useful life has changed. Things like this, you'll see them, but otherwise, just be confident of everything. Actually, thank you for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to support us, but also to learn more and to receive updates. And then until next time.